I mean, I wish Mikey Whitehouse would be on, because that would make sense, you know? I ain't doing shout outs, nigga, it's just real.
I asked one of my favorite skateboarders recently, Mikey Whitehouse, to join my skate team. I've been watching his skateboarding probably for about 5 years now, and he's always seemed unnaturally good. Before I would finally see how he skates in person, I wanted to see where he started. And the oldest video I could find from Mikey was from 12 years ago when he was 15 years old.
Can't skate without Doc shows.
In this video, he's good, but it's not just the tricks that were shocking, which they were, but it's his style. When I was 15, I probably did tricks around the same difficulty, but I looked so uncomfortable on my board because I still was. But Mikey looks like he was born to skate. So then I wanted to find a video from 10 years ago, then 5 years ago, and we'd get to today. So 10 years ago, only 2 years later, he sprouted. Not only did he get taller, but he learned an insane amount of tricks. Now, this part is shocking. The pace at which Mikey improved was nothing like I'd ever really seen before. At this point, he was doing a lot of tricks no one else had done. Getting attention from people at CCS, the barracks, pretty much anyone in skateboarding. The video you're watching now ended up getting 1.3 million views, and I remember when I first saw it and literally thought, how is this dude not a household name? He's not just doing these super obscure, difficult tricks, but he looks so good doing them. I've kept up with Mikey since then, watching his footage, sending him hell yeah comments here and there, and Mikey's changed a lot since then. Honestly, if you held up a picture of Mikey now versus 5 years ago, you probably wouldn't even be able to tell it was the same kid.
We're a long way from G-rated YouTube shit now, in a major way. Mikey Whitehouse, is he cool yet? He got a wild blunt and big flip style, baby. That's some G shit. Are we gonna finally put a little respect on the difficulty of this man's talent? So I'm looking forward to the new Mikey Whitehouse, the gangster delinquent one. That one?
Where are you staying? At
That Holiday Inn?
Holiday Inn right there?
Yeah.
That's what I figured. I was like,
I've never hung out with Mikey before, so naturally I pulled out a camera and started filming him from the gate. And this trip ended up being a lot more eye-opening than I expected. Because, see, I wasn't just here to sponsor Mikey, I was also here to sponsor his best friend, but more on that later.
That was sick. That was crazy. Damn.
Okay, first impressions, Mikey is just as good in person as he is in video. I had my mouth open in shock half the time I was filming. He's also crazy nice. He laughs at everything, and I know calling people chill seems like a cop-out, but Mikey is chill.
That was crazy.
For the last 3 to 10 years, Mikey Whitehouse was always part of a crew in Texas. This crew of skaters who were all phenomenal skaters, but there was always 2 skaters that really stood out to me. Mikey obviously being one of them, and the other we'll be hanging out with tomorrow. I hadn't really seen Mikey get serious at all until we talked about this crew. They had over 500,000 subscribers on YouTube, they were popular, but recently they split up. I can only imagine in a small town like this how cool it must have felt to be getting the kind of attention only skaters in California or New York seem to get. But when you combine business and friends, things can get difficult. I was gonna originally make this video about the fall of the group and go into detail, but it really isn't my business. Also, when I texted Mikey about it, he said he'd like to be seen as his own dude now. Not Mikey that was a part of this group, but Mikey the dude who obviously has it, the ability to build his own career in skateboarding. Because for how chill Mikey was, he had a perseverance I really didn't expect. He can casually try a trick for as many hours as it takes to land without seemingly getting upset once. After this session, we hung out. I had the camera out and I was asking questions because I'm the worst, and I'm a huge believer in transparency. I'm trying to put together the best skate team I can with the most underappreciated, underutilized skaters there are, and what allows us to stand out, to me, is transparency. A quality Mikey would prove to have, but not so much the other rider I'm here for. Most of the footage I've seen of Mikey has been in parks, so I was pleasantly surprised when he said he preferred street skating. A lot of times, the skill level doesn't really translate for skaters who are in the park way too much. But for Mikey, I was somehow even more impressed after this session.
Thank you, John.
Yeah, dude, that was so good.
Thank you.
What? Killed it today, dude.
Thank you. I need some of those clips.
I got you. Thanks for joining the team.
Dude, thanks for having me.
Of course.
But as you know, that's not where this story ends. When the skate group broke up, Mikey wasn't the only one to go on his own path. There was one other person, someone who's always been side by side with Mikey, someone who I assumed was probably just like Mikey, but I was very wrong. His name is Nick. Where Mikey is calm, Nick is explosive. Mikey prefers the flat rail and flat ledge. Nick prefers the handrail and stairs. Nick is the yin to Mikey's yang. Two humans who have unnatural God-given talents, but really couldn't be more different. And truthfully, I've always wondered how these two skaters aren't pro, just straight up professional skateboarders. But after the day with Nick, it made a little more sense. Not because of his personality and obviously talent-wise, these two would make being a pro for any company logical, but there's this feeling, an atmosphere that stirs in small towns like this. And it's also the feeling that prevents not just skaters, but creative humans from achieving their true potential. Thank you for watching. Tune in next Wednesday for the sequel of this video. And I do want an early announcement to say that in 2 weeks from now, we're actually launching 3 pieces of clothing, Progress Daily clothing. It was a lot of trial and error, but I think you guys will be very excited to see what these are. It's a t-shirt, a long sleeve, and a sweatshirt. And I have designed them to very much fit this branding and fit this mission and this journey that we're going on. Getting all these crew members together for this company has been very exciting. So I'll see you next time. Take care.